views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today, my special guest is Kristen Bissontz, and she is the Secretary of Coalition for a Better Indiana. That's a long title, kiddo.
It is, and there's a story why it's that long.
So let's go into that.
Sure. If those who have been around since 2014 in the area may remember, there was a casino fight that came back when we had Mayor Henry, and in 2014, a casino tried to come to the greater Fort Wayne area. And at that time, there were pastors and church leaders, local leadership, as well as very concerned citizens that banded together to try and really educate the public as to what a casino would bring. And the tagline at that time was, downtown Fort Wayne is going to die. It is going to die if we don't bring something into the city to infuse some money and infuse some interest and bring tourism and bring families downtown. And the way that we're going to do this is with a casino. And at that time, that group of grassroots individuals called themselves a Coalition for a Better Fort Wayne. And in the process of bringing all the information to the public, they were able to convince then Mayor Tom Henry that it was not the best solution for revitalizing downtown. And he agreed, and it quietly went away. And we see now that without a casino, downtown Fort Wayne is actually revitalized without it. We've got a fantastic baseball stadium. We have a lot of small businesses, restaurants, entertainment venues, you name it. Downtown is not what it was in 2014. And without a casino, the revitalization took place. And it's a beautiful, family-friendly place to go.
So now,
fast forward to now. Last year in 2024, a failing casino. So the state issues a certain number of licensures to casino operators to allow them to operate in the state of Indiana, so that the state can regulate the gaming industry and can also put borders and boundaries around how much money is going to be taken in and then given back to the state or given to different entities through the gaming. And Rising Sun, Indiana is home to the Rising Star Casino, which is owned by Full House Gaming. That's the parent company that owns it. And this casino last year was in excess of 400 million in debt. They've not put a lot into the casino. They've not done a lot to revamp it or to overhaul it. And it just has been left to kind of deteriorate. And Full House, saw that they were not getting the revenue that they expected. And so they went to the state and said, could we please relocate the area where the casino is currently? There are several other casinos that are within a short geographic distance, as well as it's really close to the Ohio and Kentucky border. So you've got gaming in Ohio, you have gaming in Kentucky, so a lot of competition. And they wanted to relocate. And of course, Northeast Indiana is empty and void of gaming entities up here. We don't have a large scale casino. In fact, you've got to drive almost 90 minutes in any direction really to find a casino.
Which I think it's great because we don't have it here.
Correct. So we consider this to be virgin territory. And of course, the Full House knows that, and realizes that this would be a perfect place to then open a casino because there's not any competition here. And
Mm.
so Mayor McMichael kind of raised his hand and said, "Hey, on behalf of the city of New Haven, we think this is a great idea." Mayor McMichael is really good friends with former Senator Andy Zay, and Andy Zay said that he wanted to empower small local mayors to dream big. And
Mm.
how else to dream big than to bring a full-scale casino into a small town, in this case, New Haven, Indiana. So again, some of those same people who were part of the casino fight back in 2014 banded together again now in 2024, 10 years later, to say nothing has really changed. The economy and the people, the family friendly area we live in, we really don't want a casino. And there was such a grassroots movement behind all of that. I mean, we had farmers, we had business owners, we had restaurateurs, we had teachers and um, firefighters, business professionals, community members, and just the run-of-the-mill mom and pop who did not want this to impact their community. We had a lot of churches that banded together and said, we don't want this either. And because
United we
we're,
stand, divided we fall. We have to be united, kiddo.
yeah, and because we're not that creative, this time around we called ourselves a Coalition for a Better Allen County. And the focus was strictly on defeating the casino initiative.
Mhm.
And out of this, my friend Kathy and I saw the power
What?
in just the common person
Mhm.
realizing, wait a second, I can impact legislation, I can impact the process if I band with my neighbor. That's what grassroots is all about. It's not about top down, the government pushing. It's about the constituents and the grassroots, the people that live here pushing back against that and saying we don't want it. And we had several hundred people who were intimately involved in the process. And Kathy Humbacher and I were really kind of we were impressed and then encouraged to think, wow, here's a single issue, the casino.
Mhm.
What would it look like for other people who have single issues that don't have another banner to fall under? Where do they go for advocacy? Because there's a lot of places you can go if you're pro-life. There's a lot of pro-life organizations.
That's right.
If you try to think of some other ones, if you are you know wanting to influence the governmental entity, sometimes there are organizations that are already set up for that. But what if you're a person who, say, you see an injustice in your life,
Yeah.
but there's no organization that's going to come alongside you? What do you do with that? And so
Hormone.
out of that, and knowing that grassroots is so important and so impactful, we started a Coalition for a Better Indiana, so that it's not just one single issue like the Allen County or the Fort Wayne was, which was just
Mhm.
focused on the casino. Now, since the casino has come back around, in addition to several of the other issues that we've looked at, the Coalition Now for a Better Indiana, which is a 501c4 not-for-profit,
Non-profit. Good girl.
nonprofit. Yep, we have decided to come alongside the citizens of Allen County and now the citizens of Northeast Indiana and really help to advocate for them, those that do not want a casino up here in this virgin territory. And so this is just one of the things that we have engaged with this legislative session.
So we have to say, we the people, we're going to stand up for our rights, and we don't want anything that's going to damage our people or put us into bankruptcy or whatever.
Correct. Yeah. And I think the more people understand exactly what is going to happen with a casino license transfer, not just the, hey, it's going to be a fun night out, whether it's, a couple wanting to go celebrate something and spend a couple $100s in a casino, or some guys wanting to go play poker together. It's much deeper than that. And what's being sold is the glitz and glitter of having an entertainment venue, but they're not really addressing the fact that with that entertainment venue comes a lot of downsides that you don't see with just like a restaurant, for example, or a place where musical guests can come in. The gaming component of a casino is where we really see the detriment to the community. I'm all for economic development. I don't think there's anybody involved in our cause are against economic development. And I'm all for a company wanting to come in and put together a multifaceted entertainment venue that has a restaurant, that has a coffee shop, that has a place for concerts and things of that nature. If it didn't have the gaming component, I would be championing this because I think it's a great idea. But it's when
Mhm.
you add that gaming component into it, that's where we see kind of the dark downside of a casino, and
Mhm.
it's just simply not being addressed by those that really want to push the license transfer here.
So the pros of having a casino, are there any at all? If not, we need to know the cons part of
Yeah,
it.
I mean, there are some pros. I mean, if you think about it, um, and I'm looking specifically not just at Allen County because we've had a great downtown revitalization and we do have a lot of really great places to go. So one more, if you want to bring a concert venue, you want to bring a series of restaurants, you want to bring a hotel downtown because we do have a lot of conventions. I'm not
Mhm.
opposed to that at all, but I'm looking more at some of the other counties that are involved because the bill, this House Bill 1038, has been amended to include not just Allen County but DeKalb County, Steuben County, which are up here in Northeast Indiana, and then Wayne County, which is actually in southern Indiana. It's close to Richmond.
Mhm.
The downtown revitalization piece of those is where they're really kind of selling this idea of, hey, we're bringing a valuable entity to you, the people, for
Mhm.
your, for you guys to enjoy. So we're bringing restaurants, we're bringing the hotel, we're bringing the concert venue. So there is a pro in looking at that physical structure that's going to come and potentially attract people. They're also promising a lot of revenue through the taxes on the entity itself. Fort Wayne First, which started their ads back, I think in November, they were saying basically it was going to bring $330 million to the area. But some of our independent analysis, we have friends that run www.savefw.com, so Save Fort Wayne, have done some independent analysis, and they're saying, it's probably 112 million, possibly less. So we're already kind of being sold a bill of goods that may not be true. Um, I
Yes.
think they're projecting things based on assumptions. And again, a lot of what's being done here is based on assumptions of if a casino comes, if it performs like this, if it does this, if the local
If it-
uh, taxing body agrees to allow, this percentage to go here and this percentage to go here, then this is what it could look like. So we don't know because we've never had a casino here in Fort.
But
Uh, so the pros are, a venue and promised potential tax revenue that would benefit the city wherever it lands. It would benefit the county or it would go towards economic development. The weird thing is that um, in the bill itself, it does talk about having to set up a special fund that would go to offset the ills that we understand a casino brings.
oh
We know
boy,
it's
let's go into that one.
Yeah, we know it's going to bring addicts. We know it's going to bring bankruptcies, sex trafficking, broken marriages. I mean, the list goes on with what comes with problem and
And
predatory.
gangs and violence and
Potentially, yeah. And so one of the pros is, hey, those things are going to come, but here's some money that we're going to set aside to
Mhm.
address that.
Mhm.
And that's a quote unquote good thing. That's a pro. Um, so those are what we see as what's being sold as this is a good thing for the community.
Mm.
The cons, and there are many, and they're really hard to quantify because a lot of it we don't see right away. You don't see a casino pop into a town and then 6 months later, boom, there's an increase in um,
Crime.
crime, for example,
Mm.
because a lot of times they'll hire additional law enforcement in the on the front end. The people that come in to gamble and do all the gaming, it's a shiny new rock that everybody wants to partake in. But it's not until 3 or 4 years, sometimes even 5 years downstream, that we start seeing things that we can actually quantify. One of the best researchers in this area is a gentleman. He's a professor out of Baylor University. His name is Earl Grinols. It's Grinols. He's done long-term impact studies on communities where there's been gaming institutions. And granted, a lot of it's been in places where, the gaming establishments have been around, like Illinois, for example, gaming's been around. And in Illinois, it's almost like Oprah, you get a casino, you get a casino, you get a casino. But he's done long-term studies and he's been able to really demonstrate some shocking statistics.
Mm.
He has shown that basically in an area where there is gaming and casinos, for every $1 in revenue that the casino generates, there's actually a $3 net loss to the community downstream. So things that you don't consider, like at your township level, you've now got a group of people who are problem gamblers or addicted gamblers. They spend all their money and now they can't pay for their heating bill. And so they have to go to the township and say, hey, I need $600 this month to pay for my heating bill. We don't
There's the rent.
the rent, yeah. We get individuals who wind up in jail because they don't have their child support, their back child support that is
Mhm.
to, their kids. And so they're unable to produce it. They wind up either getting fined further, they wind up going to jail, they wind up losing their job. And so, these things you can't point to unless you start connecting dots backwards to,
Where it began.
so yeah, there are significant social and economic uh, detriments when a casino comes, and it's really hard to pinpoint exactly, to put a dollar figure on exactly what that looks like, just because it is so multifaceted when you have a casino come in.
And what it does, like you say, two families who were once united, once the addiction comes into the family, they're destroyed.
Yeah.
The nucleus.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really interesting is even though there's this fund that is set aside specifically to help, the entities that end up helping in those areas a lot of times are church ministries and parachurch ministries that are not the recipient of those tax dollars. And so they are then increasingly burdened to help families, to help addicts, to help individuals, and they're not getting the money. So it becomes then a burden on the community of people who support those churches and those parachurch ministries as well. That now there's an increase in homelessness. Now there's an increase in addiction counseling. Now there's an increase in, marriages falling apart, marriage counseling. Now there's an increase in counseling for that person who has suicide ideation because they've just spent their paycheck and all of their savings, and now they have to go home to a wife and kids and explain what's happened, and there's embarrassment and shame. And so again, it's really hard to quantify it. It's really hard to connect all those dots on paper, but Earl Grinold did a great job of doing that.
Yeah, addiction. Do you know that much what it is? How people get stuck in something like gambling? Do you know of anything like that? How we can help the people who are stuck in that?
Probably the big thing is there's an education component of letting people know that this is what gaming can do. And a lot of people don't even realize that they become addicts until it's too late. And
Because their personality.
yep, yep. And the best way to combat it is going to be prevention. And how to prevent it? By keeping a gaming entity out of this virgin territory where there are not as many problem gamblers. Do they exist in Northeast Indiana?
I'm sure they do.
Absolutely. But an addict here in Fort Wayne, for example, he's not just going to drive from work past the casino on his way home. He's going to have to actually get in his car and drive. So there's the deterrent already of having to go and drive to a specific, hour and a half away in order to get to the closest casino. And what's really strange too, Patty, is brick and mortar casinos are becoming the dinosaurs because almost everybody has, a cell phone, and there's online gaming. It is currently not legal in the state of Indiana, but there are operators that operate here. And so at any moment, if somebody really, really wanted to and they were addicted to it anyway, similar to pornography, you just pull your phone out and you can gamble online without having
Mhm.
to go anywhere. And so my question is, again, knowing the detriments of it, looking at the benefit and the outweighing the costs and the benefits, and then to say there's going to come a time, and it's coming really rapidly, when the brick and mortar casino is not even going to be something that people entertain anymore because they literally can pull the casino out and they have it in their pocket. Um, and so, do we really need a brick and mortar monster
Mhm.
that's going to come and be a blight in a couple of years, wherever it lands, whether it's here in Allen County, whether it's in DeKalb County, Steuben County, or Wayne County? It's going to be obsolete here in a couple of years. So, why
Well,
do that if it's going to be basically an empty dead building?
then
And
someone will take over the online to get the money.
of
Mm.
course, of
So
course.
when you see gambling and addiction and crime, they all jive together, man. They all jive together.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Drugs, selling people, children, pornography,
Yep.
et cetera, going down the slope, going spiraling down. We got to get rid of that.
Well, and I had somebody challenge me as well as others who have spoken out against it and have said, well, you cannot legislate morality. And they're right. You cannot legislate morality, but you can legislate morally,
Mhm.
meaning I can't necessarily set laws that are going to um, uh, outline a religion or outline a doctrine. But what I can do is with my own biblical understanding and my biblical worldview can say this is not going to be good, regardless if you're a faithful person, a religious person or not. It's just not good, and can legislate from that viewpoint.
Mhm.
Uh, we can agree that addictions are bad. I think we can all holistically agree across the board that sex trafficking is not good for society. I think
Right.
we can all agree across the board that, you know, having to choose between um, going home and facing your family and admitting an addiction that you have and, running your car off the seventh floor of a parking garage at a casino it is bad, right? It's bad. And so that doesn't necessarily come from a religious viewpoint, legislating morality, but from a moral viewpoint, in that we can just all agree this is morally a bad idea for any
We,
any society.
we humans do have a frailty, and we like to always excitement. Oh, I want to earn this. I want to grab this manna versus, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
For them, money is everything if you don't have God.
yeah. And there's something to be said for the addict who is chasing something. They're
Mhm.
chasing a win. They're chasing the thrill of betting and seeing whether or not
Never
they
satisfied.
they're chasing the losses because now they've lost so much they need to go back and get it back. And so it becomes an addiction much stronger even than heroin in some instances. That dopamine hit of having the bells ringing and the lights and all of that, it's
Mhm.
pretty incredible.
Adrenaline being.
Pretty incredible. Yep.
How about psychiatrists, psychologists? You'd be needing more of those if you have casino in your area.
They will. And it was interesting. I was actually at a legislative forum that was hosted by Representative Kyle Miller and Minority Leader Phil Giaquinta just last week.
Mhm.
And they were talking about how, and I gotta find my notes here, um, how there's already um, a need for more counselors in the area
Mhm.
to begin with, that there's not enough resources in Indiana to support addicts. And there's not a robust program to address problem gaming. And his answer to that was, well, we'll make the casinos pay for it. So you're right. There's a
Yeah.
need people in this area who are going to be able to address the
Mhm.
complicated needs of the addict. And so my question goes back to, if we recognize there's not enough counselors right now and there's going to be problem gambling,
Mhm.
why would we want to create a situation that we know we cannot handle? Um, and just open the door for that to take place. Even if there were resources, why would we want to put a family or an individual through the process of becoming addicted, losing all of this stuff,
Mhm.
having to go through counseling only on the other side to be, fixed or healed? Why even start that process in the first place by inviting it, by opening a casino in this virgin territory?
You got it, Pontiac. I hear you, girl. I hear you. It's getting towards the end of the show. I would love to have you back on to talk about other topics. So what co- Coalition for a Better Indiana. What you
Yeah,
guys, other
yeah.
things that you do to help out the communities here in Fort Wayne, Allen County.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple of bills that we've been advocating for and are looking at legislation to fix those issues that were brought to our attention.
Mhm.
One specifically has to do with victim rights, and one has to do with equaling the playing field in the education sphere for high school seniors who are looking to go to college for college placement. So if folks want to check us out, they can find us at
Oh, yeah, yeah.
www.betterin.org. Again, that's www.betterin.org. They can see our story. They can see our pieces of legislation. They can see some of the things that we're working on, as well as an opportunity to connect with us. If there are people out there who find that, hey, I see an issue that's in my sphere and don't know what to do with it, we would love to hear. And as long as it falls within our kind of our mission and our values and stuff, then we're happy to advocate and we're happy to help.
So
So
this thing with the gaming and stuff like that there, has there been any bill passed or it's quiet now? Sorry about that delay with Kristen talking, but we'd like to thank her and the Coalition for a Better Indiana and for the people here in Fort Wayne and New Haven. We'll see you next week. God bless you. Hope you have a great week.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always, and for the rest of